Welcome to Aston Business. I'm Steve Dyson, the journalist presenting this regular podcast for Aston Business School, which is now in its third series, subtitled SMEs Building Resilience to COVID-19 Challenges. We're interviewing small business leaders who are taking part or who've recently taken part in Aston's Centre for Growth's programmes. They're sharing their experiences and explaining how they're developing their operations during these uncertain economic times. We're also talking to some of Aston Business School's top academics, getting their valuable insight and analysis for SMEs. In today's episode, we're going to find out how Birmingham-based Integritax Accountants has been using the very latest digital finance software to help scores of other SMEs to survive. This has seen Adnan Khalid, the owner of Integritax, double his revenues since COVID-19 hit the economy. Joining me to discuss this success story is Matt Davies, himself a chartered accountant who is now a senior lecturer in the accounting department at Aston Business School. Hello to you, Matt.
Hello, Steve. Yeah, very much looking forward to discussing Adnan's experiences with you.
Smashing, and thanks very much for taking part in this podcast, Matt. We'll have a good chat once we've listened to my interview with Adnan. Joining me online now is Adnan Khalid. He's the founder and director of Integritax Accountants, and they're based in Birmingham. Hello to you, Adnan.
Hello, Steve. Thanks for having me.
No problems. Adnan, first of all, tell me a little bit more about yourself and your earlier career in accounting.
Yeah, sure. So my journey in accounting really started with my degree in accounting and finance with Birmingham City University. I was studying at the university during the height of the 2008 financial crisis, and even though I managed to obtain a first-class degree and achieve top marks in many of my subjects, finding a graduate role in accounting was tough at the time. However, soon after graduating, I secured a financial graduate role for an oil and gas company. I worked in London for a number of years, then lived in Aberdeen for 2 years, before returning again back to London. After a few years of living away from Birmingham, I knew it was time to return home and returned back to Birmingham in 2015.
When and why did you launch Integritax Accountants, and what's the size of the company today?
Integritax Accountants was formed in 2016, and I initially started the business part-time. I wanted to offer more than an accounting service, and our primary focus was to become the leading tax specialist in the West Midlands, offering an affordable service to small and medium-sized businesses and individuals. Currently, I employ one other person in the business that supports me. However, we're very close to recruiting our third person. COVID has been challenging for many businesses. However, we've stayed positive, and during the pandemic, our business's revenue has doubled. I would say that we have almost 200 clients working with us, and those clients are based throughout the UK. We don't specialize in any particular sector, so we are able to work with and accommodate businesses from all sectors.
Hold on a minute then, Adnan. I just want to understand this. The COVID-19 pandemic, that's hit everyone hard all year, but you're telling me here that Integritax's revenues have doubled. How did you achieve that?
We had to think really hard about the services that we offered to our clients during the lockdown. The usual conversations we would have with clients would be around tax planning and business growth. Now we were talking to clients about business survival and do we have enough cash in the bank to pay our bills and staff. There was a lot of government support available to keep businesses going. However, a lot of the support was misunderstood or difficult to reach. We started to stream live webinars and produce newsletters explaining the government support in plain English, such as the furlough scheme, the support to self-employed individuals, and the business rates grant. We streamed our webinars on Facebook and other social media platforms, which were really popular, and we picked up a number of new clients through our educational webinars. Also, during the lockdown, it was a great opportunity for us to showcase our services and show clients and prospects that we provide more than the usual traditional accountant. Digital software such as QuickBooks and Xero enabled us to provide a more efficient service to clients, especially those that were concerned with their finances. We also work with businesses to help them obtain finance through either the Bounce Back Loan Scheme or the Coronavirus Business Interruption Loan Scheme. What we realized was that most of our growth actually came from our existing clients. Those that were restructuring their service offerings were wanting additional services, such as management accounts, so they could analyze their monthly business performance and cash flow forecasts, so they could keep on top of the cash in the bank and arrange overdrafts and loans if needed.
I get what you're saying, and just to kind of make it clear to our listeners out there, when you talk about things like Xero and QuickBooks, we're talking about total digital records, aren't we?
We are, yes. So we're talking about keeping your bookkeeping records digitally online with a number of different software packages are available out there. QuickBooks and Xero, just to name two. And the great thing about online digital software nowadays is all your finances are in one place, including your bank records.
And Adnan, I wanted to ask you one more question about the way that you help businesses to reconsider their strategy and reconsider their finances using all these modern techniques. So you talked about the fact that you had tools and analysis which could instantly tell them how they're performing and what they should do next. Just tell us a bit more about how that works.
Yeah, absolutely. So using online software, we are able to reconcile bookkeeping records so that they are accurate to the day. Using the most recent financial information, we are able to very quickly create forecasts, whether that is financial forecasts or cash flow forecasts, so that we can accurately predict what the financial performance of the business looks like over the coming weeks and months to come.
So, Adnan, basically, businesses, instead of waiting until the end of the year, or indeed several months at the end of their financial year, they have an immediate now situation where they consider how they're doing at the time rather than waiting for 6 months until the report comes out.
Yeah, absolutely. By waiting at the end of the year, it's too late. 12 months, 6 months, or 3 months have passed. And it's too late to make business decisions at that point in time. If the performance of the business is not going in the direction that you want, you need to be able to see that information now and make decisions now so that you can keep the business on track.
And by doing that, by giving you all their digital records, you can instantly give them tables and graphs to discuss the direction of their business and how things are going.
Absolutely, 100%.
So with all these modern services in mind, Adnan, what helped you to develop so fast at what was such a troubling time for so many businesses?
For me, I believe the Aston program for small business growth was invaluable. You just don't realize how much there is to learn in business, from advertising and marketing to finance, from business culture to the importance of intellectual property. Following from the Aston program, we developed an online marketing strategy, really pinpointed our USP, and developed processes that have helped us become more efficient. The learnings from the Aston program helped us develop as a business. I remember one of the first events I attended with the Aston program, and that covered the topic opportunities and innovation. During this event, we were taught to be innovative with our product and service offerings and try to stand out from our competitors. It was for this reason that we started to concentrate on our USP. The Aston program highlighted how crucial it was for us to develop our USP of becoming the leading tax specialist in the West Midlands.
And becoming the leading specialist, that's tied in with how modern an organisation you are. I mean, just to be quite brutal about it, accountants are often seen to be quite stiff, quite old-fashioned, almost pinstripe suited people sitting in offices with lots of books and lots of paperwork. You are becoming a specialist, all online, all digital, all fast, all efficient. That's what works as a USP, I take it.
That's correct. Yeah. So we are still a young accountancy practice, and in 2016, when we first started our business, we had the goal of building our business around digital software and utilizing online services.
Now, with businesses today facing all the problems they are, with COVID-19 still hitting the economy, the second lockdown and all things like that, all the different precautions which the government's having to take, and the alarming Brexit issues ahead as well. With all that ahead of us, what would you say to other entrepreneurs out there about how to continue growing despite such
Yeah.
huge challenges?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we live in a time where there is a lot of uncertainty. Lockdown to Brexit, uncertainty from government policy to business and consumer confidence. In order to continue growing, I believe entrepreneurs need to be agile and be able to change and move very quickly. The business environment is moving very quickly, and we need to be able to adjust. For the accountancy industry, we've had to recently adjust to the government introducing Making Tax Digital, where accounting records are required to be kept digitally. This has required accountants to accept digital software of some sort. I also believe entrepreneurs need to remain positive. It is very easy to become lonely, and I believe you need to surround yourself with like minded people. I met a great group of people at the Aston program that I keep in regular contact with. We actually have a WhatsApp group that we share where we share our challenges and wins. And it's great knowing that there is a group of people around you that you can call upon to ask any questions.
Adnan Khalid, the founder and director of Integritax Accountants, many thanks for joining us and best wishes to you and your business in the future.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.
Hopefully still with me is Matt Davies. Hello again, Matt.
Yes, still here, Steve.
Matt, Adnan Khalid is a very modern accountant with quite an impressive story, isn't he?
Yes, very much so, Steve. I remember meeting Adnan through the Aston Small Business Growth Programme. I run the accounting and finance workshops on that programme, and Adnan was a great participant. He didn't, as a fellow accountant, necessarily learn new accounting skills from me, but he very much supported the work that I was doing, promoting accounting and finance skills to his fellow participants. And indeed, he also did a great job in promoting the very same tools he himself uses with his clients.
Now, Adnan described how running a very up-to-date business where everything is digital using the latest technology has helped his business thrive despite COVID-19. It does seem to be the new thing to take into account for SMEs, doesn't it?
Very, very much so, Steve, and we've seen this trend in recent years. And Adnan's success was, I think, not only having the right tools in place, but also the way in which he marketed his ability to support businesses in such a difficult and fast-moving environment.
Yeah, it's like live advice, isn't it? Based on the very latest facts and figures.
Yeah, very much so, Steve. So the advent of cloud accounting is very much revolutionizing the way in which accountants are supporting small businesses in particular. What it allows is for a business leader to have real-time access to their latest numbers, and they can also invite their external accountants to have access to their information real time as well. And this is very much how Adnan has been able to provide great value to his clients, helping them make fast, appropriate decisions through the very difficult challenges which COVID has presented.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because COVID-19 is such a negative thing that's happened to the economy and to the whole world. And yet, thinking about the wider economy, it's almost fast-tracked the importance of digital finance, made them more useful to people.
I agree, Steve. So we were seeing a growing trends towards cloud accounting adoption, and the UK government's introduction of the Making Tax Digital for VAT returns initiative, which was introduced in 2019, that was a big catalyst. But the COVID pandemic has very much accelerated the recognition of what cloud accounting can give a small business leader, and also the increase in recognition of the importance of having up-to-date financial information at your fingertips if you want to make a success of a business in these difficult times.
Adnan was very complimentary about his time at Aston. So let me ask you for some detail on that. How are you integrating this digital finance aspect into what still must be quite a traditional skill set needed for the accountancy sector?
Yes, Steve. So we've actually been including cloud accounting skills on our undergraduate accounting program for some years now. And most recently, we've integrated an exercise using a special educational version of Xero. So Xero is one of the leading cloud accounting services. And we've introduced within a new employability skills module a challenge which requires our students to experience using Xero. They have to record the transactions for a hypothetical business for its first 2 months of trading. And that exercise sits within a a module that is currently called the Virtual Business Simulation module, but next year it will be renamed, I think more appropriately, as Accounting in Practice. And the module addresses a range of skills required of accountants for the future, personal skills, including commercial awareness, teamwork, communication skills, and so on. But there's a real strong emphasis on digital literacy and cloud accounting skills in particular. And the Xero exercise is proving very popular with students.
That's great for students and also for people on the Small Business Growth Programme, which I'm sure they can come and listen to some of that. But for other wider listeners listening to this podcast today, do you have any tips on how they, SMEs or entrepreneurs, on how they can develop their accountancy and finance literacy?
Well, thank you, Steve, for the opportunity to share a project that I've been involved in at Aston recently, which has led to the development of the Count FIFI game. FIFI here stands for Financial Education for Future Entrepreneurs. And I've led a project at Aston in recent years, which has led to the creation of a mobile digital game that can be downloaded for free from the App Store or Google Play, and we hope everyone out there has fun while they're developing their accounting and finance skills for business.
Well, an exciting way to introduce people to a development for their finance. That's great. Matt Davies, a senior lecturer in the accounting department at Aston Business School. Thanks for joining us today and for explaining how digital finance will increasingly play such a crucial part in the business and accountancy world.
Thank you, Steve. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks also to Adnan Khalid of Integritax Accountants, who we spoke to earlier. We'll be back soon with another case study of how businesses are developing and growing with more crucial analysis and advice from academics and experts here at Aston. Aston means business. SMEs building resilience to COVID-19 challenges. Thanks for listening.